Hey folks, Quill18 here, and sometimes I really hate SimCity. I was let it run, and finally the Arcology got created, and we got this cool little pop-up menu that talked about cutting the ribbon, and I started the recording, and SimCity instantly crashed. So unfortunately, I can't show the screen that says, hey, you built the Arcology, but hey, we built an Arcology, and there it is. We have obviously a whole lot of money in sand pollution, and there it goes. It's quite interesting looking. You know, somehow I was expecting more. I do like the greenery, that's kind of cool. So apparently needs more power in the region, and then it will add more shoppers, workers, and students, and mostly a heck of a lot of traffic, which is fine and exciting and good and dandy. So I'm pretty sure at this point we're actually done with San Pollucion. We've got a ton of money banked in here, and I'm going to use it to start a final city location. I set up a Brakeman's Folly over here, but that's just the default name, and just technically laid down a couple of things so that the city would exist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send a gift of, well, pretty much, really, 10 million is the maximum. All right, we're going to send 10 million simoleons over there. We're just going to wait a tick in the city here to make sure that it actually confirms that it has been sent. I think in the latest patch you no longer have to wait for that, but I want to make sure. We'll talk about the city for a little bit longer and make sure that everything is okay. I guess one of the things we can do is we no longer have to... I need to find myself in the city. I don't need to... I can export this. I set up an extra trade depot for the metal just because that was the last thing that was needed. It was taking a long time. And we are going to export our metal at this point and get rid of that. And basically this city, I mean, it's polluting the crap out of the ground. Look at this. Look at this dirt. It's an awful city. No one should want to live here, and yet somehow we've got 63,000 people here, and that's what happens when you have jobs. People will go there, even if it means they're going to die at 35 years old from, like, I don't know, toxic groundwater or something like that. Yeah, so, the traffic situation is not great, but that's because I didn't expect we'd have that many people living in this godforsaken city when I initially started off. I really underestimated the amount of workers that are needed for the big industry, which is kind of interesting. I like it because otherwise it'd be way too easy to just make infinite money. There's an achievement for that? Oh my god, that's fantastic! Wow! Oh, we gotta unlock more of those. Oh, that's really freaking funny. So, groundwater, not so good, huh? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's definitely less than good. So we'll have to use the filtration ones instead. Here, we'll get rid of all of these and only use the filtration ones. They're more expensive, and they cost twice as much per hour. But it'll get the yuck out. And apparently they take more time, or more space as well. Let's get rid of the park. We don't need the park anymore. Whoa, don't bulldoze. Can we fit more? Yeah. Alright. Huge excess. Everything is groovy. And we still have lots of money. Okay, so I think the money has left the city more or less officially at this point. It's hard to tell. They do have the new system, but I'm not seeing the truck progress anymore. So I think they really did change it so that it's not as much of a problem. Let's hope. Let's go into Brakeman's Folly. Let's hope that we can get our money at some point. We're gonna have to let it run for a little while until we get the money, but we're gonna talk about the layout that we're gonna take. So yeah, we have not received it yet, but hopefully we will soon enough. So I have it just running here just so that, you know, it technically has something in place because I wanted the city to exist so I can send it some money. But what I'm really hoping for is we can receive that and we can talk about a good layout. So, interesting city location. It's actually, I kind of like it because the way the wind blows, it means we can use this lower area here, which is also conveniently where our railroad is, as a little bit of an industrial area. Because we need the industry, right? We can't just have a straight-up residential commercial city anymore. We do need a little bit of freight. Yeah, people are whining about stuff, which is to be expected. I will make sure actually that we've got it set to buy as much stuff as possible for now, especially the sewage, because if we can avoid having any sort of sewage going on in the city, that would be nice. My goal is to have a really high population region. It would be easier if it was completely flat, like this will represent a little bit of wasted space, not to mention some awkward road placement, but I think it'll work out okay. So the one thing, unlike the last region, we don't just have this one central thoroughfare. We want to, I'm going to want to bulldoze this actually, and sort of discourage people from all taking the same route. Instead, what we're going to do is very quickly on, we're going to put a split here, so we're a T on this side. I think most of the traffic is going to come from this side, because this is going to be from our other cities, whereas this road connection over here is actually just to, like, I don't know, the greater Sim Nation. So we might get, like, people moving in, we might get some sort of transportation trucks. In fact, there does seem to be a fair amount of traffic going that way, frankly, just from the other cities going back and forth. Yeah. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But I want to discourage everyone from using the same road. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of branch things. I'm going to bulldoze the middle. I'm going to go over to the right over here. And just, you know, far enough over so that I can maybe build some neighborhoods. I don't know. This position might be okay, except that it runs. No, that's fine. As long as we have absolutely the minimum amount of connections to this road to let people go back and forth, that's okay. And instead we'll have one avenue that branches out, like, and does a big kind of loop around the region this way. And then maybe one other avenue that kind of subdivides there. And that might work out okay. But we do have to wait for our 10 million simoleons to show up. Who knows how long that's going to take. And then, yeah, down here, hopefully we can have a high-tech industry, because that'll keep things nice and clean and awesome. But we'll do what we can. All right, give me my money. Give me my money. I guess I could go stare at the region a little bit more. I want to keep this zone loaded because that's where my cache actually is. Yeah, see, this is how good the synchronization is on these stupid SimCity servers. It doesn't acknowledge that we have a great site yet. That's not entirely confidence boosting. You know, if you don't know that the Arcology is completed, when am I ever going to get my 10 million simoleons? It's a really bad sign. It should kick in at some point. I did notice it. Like, I'd have to sort of go back and forth a few times and force a resave and all kinds of different behavior, but it's very bizarre. I do like, we did finish our concentrated solar plant over here from Havelock. In fact, if I hop over here, I think we even started a secondary project, and what I should really do is let Havelock just run through them all and unlock all the cool sort of high-tech buildings, because that's where my education center is. We'll probably want an education center in our new town as well. And I suppose I should ask, yeah, well, definitely, if you haven't already, make sure to suggest. I do like the look of this town. It's a little too thick with roads than it needs to be. But I like that it's, you know, a little bit more organic, at least. We apparently completed something over here. All right. And yeah, what are we working on? Detective wing. Very good thing to sort of bust down an amount of crime. I guess, there we go. We'll let Arcology constructing. No, see, the Arcology is pretty much done here, buddy. At least it acknowledges that it at least got all the goods at this point. There we go. Hey, we're going to get our pop-up. Well, there we go. This is the pop-up we were supposed to get on the other screen. Shoppers, workers, students. Building this towering pinnacle of human architecture requires skilled workers and resources. This dense ecosystem contains everything necessary to sustain a massive community. Sims live here, but many of them will commute to cities in the region to work, go to school, or shop. Oh, well, that's cool. I didn't get to see this at all last time. So are we going to get that, like, for every single city that we play? I don't know. So the problem with the Arcology is it does spam your cities with people that are not your residents. Which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that city should just be a pure commercial industry building and not so much residential. I mean, if we've got workers and shoppers coming from the Arcology, that might be good enough. Should be good for the tourist town. Does it provide any tourists whatsoever? No, shoppers, workers, students, but that's all. And they don't even agree on the density. Like, this drives me bonkers. It drives me absolutely bonkers. It doesn't even make sense. Come on, SimCity. So if we go to Orlando, does it know that the Arcology is up? I mean, maybe I should load each one of the cities let it trigger, and then close it, and then cycle the whole region. Yeah, it doesn't think it's done yet. So we get to see the fireworks over and over and over again, guys. I do want to commit to building that other city, but then we'll definitely be taking a break from SimCity for a little while, up until they come out with a really cool expansion. There we go. Hey, guys, did you know there's an Arcology? All right, we can skip this. Can we? There we go. Get Arcology operating. It's already operating. I mean, I can understand if this was an actual multiplayer game, right? It makes sense that not everyone gets the same message at the same time, and, you know, there's some duplication there, but it is weird that I'm playing this in kind of single-player mode, and they're all just saying the same damn thing over and over. I don't like the road structure in this city, but other than that, I'm relatively pleased with how things went. Traffic bottlenecks are not too bad, mostly because we do split our avenue traffic right away. There's a bit of a bottleneck here coming from the airport, but it's not the end of the world. It would be a little faster if this wasn't a three-way split. And I suppose I could drive this road all the way somewhere else or something, but it's all right. Mayor's Mansion, that's fine. So we'll just do another tour of the region. What do we have to hit next? Havsnotburg. Let's give it a quick load. Make sure that it knows about the Arcology. I don't think it'll know them to the appropriate degree, but it's interesting that it's there. Let's take a look. Yep, doesn't know that it's finished yet. Oh, mostly. It's about to pop. So that's okay. But yeah, the effective population of our region is going to go through the roof. Yeah, maybe we will build more of a... You see, people have done pure residential towns in the past. We're going to go pure commercial, industrial, and just have people commute in. Hopefully we can get enough high-tech workers. We'll definitely go to the university. We have lots of students who can afford to have a university. Although that is just all pure cost, which is less than ideal. Okay, let's do one more load of San Polucion. And then I'm going to go into the new city. And well, actually, I realize it's another short video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask people for recommendations for what they want me to do with the new city. Ideally with a whole lot of money. I'll make sure that before the next video starts, we've actually properly received our money in the new city here, and that everything has registered. It still doesn't know about the Arcology, but hopefully that'll kick in soon enough. So Brakeman's Folly, not a good idea. I'm thinking commercial industrial. We'll build a university for high tech and to service the all the students that are going to be coming from the Arcology, and we're going to have a huge budget to make it work. It might be a little challenging to actually turn a profit, because I'm not thinking of doing any of the resource collection. I'm going to want like actual just industrial zoning, actual just commercial zoning. And so actually turning a profit might be a little challenging because we're not extracting resources, and most of your taxes in cities come from residences, which we are not going to have. So it'll be interesting to see, but we will have a huge, redonkulous budget, so I guess that's not the end of the world. I'm going to cut this video here. Next time, hopefully we'll have a new name, a goal for the city, and money. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.